I was under contract to do a film, an independent film, not an independent film, a studio film. And the writer on the film and I became quick friends. And he's a very young Native American writer. He's extremely talented. His upbringing was really rough, and he was on the road with his mom in a station wagon, sort of running from the law. And it sort of forged him as a storyteller. And he became really an amazing, almost genius-like storyteller. He can write incredibly quickly. And so during, while we were having to rewrite the screenplay that we were working on at Universal, he gave me this screenplay as a gift. And, sorry, I get emotional when I think about it, when I read it the first time, because it's so powerful. And I let my wife read it. And I was about 6 rows back in the airplane, and I saw her shoulders shake, and I was like, okay, we're on to something. So I went to Valerie McCaffrey, who's a fantastic casting director in L.A., and we started trying to put it together. And she says, who do you see as the lead? And I said, only one person. It has to be Danny Glover. And she laughed. She's like, no first-time filmmaker gets their star that they want. I'm like, okay, well, send it to Danny. And Danny read it and loved it. So he had the same emotional takeaway that I did. So we put it together, and wound up getting the cast put together pretty quickly and shot it in 2011. Danny had done a film in Texas called Places in the Heart in 1983, where Sally Field won the Oscar that year, and arguably Danny deserved an Oscar too. His performance was so good. It was his first big break, and his mom had passed away as he showed up in Texas, so he couldn't be at the funeral, and he couldn't be there for her because he wanted to live out her dream, which was to become a film actor. And so he told me that he would go back to his hotel room every night and cry himself to sleep, and he never had been able to see the film, and he had this connection to that, which was 30 years ago. So the house that I wanted to put him in for this film was the same house. So when he got out of the car and he looked at me, we both like, yep, here we go. And he channeled that loss in his life into the character, into the film. So it was a really interesting process for all of us. And many times, he'd be doing scenes, and I would want to stop because I was worried for him, and for his safety and for his sanity. But he delivered so many unbelievable scenes for us in this film, and we're so proud. In fact, he dedicated it to 2 of his lost, recently deceased loved ones. So that's how the project came to us. And then, beyond just the oddity of the fact that, I was able to find this house and it had this connection, we just had a lot of things that came together on the film, unbelievably, like nights that we needed it to rain, and it rained like crazy, and would stop minutes before we needed it to stop raining. And the crew, we would all just look at each other like, what the heck, right? God bless you. Including the scene at the Majestic Theater, which is all this thunderstorms and lightning happening. And that happened. We had to pull the crew off of the Majestic landing because of the electrical storm, which that night knocked out the power in our home, which was even more bizarre. But, so I don't know, I think it's serendipity. I think when you really plan on something, that things all sort of come together for you. And I think you feel that in the film. You feel how special it is, and you feel how many people really put their art and love into the project. So when you do a film about lightning, it's like doing a film about a shark. You're like, okay, well, that film's been done. For me, I haven't seen a film that had storms done other than Poltergeist. That was the only thing we could think of. And for me, it's like, Spielbergian rule that the forces of nature and heaven are much stronger than we are. So having them as a huge character in the film was like having another actor. For me, it had to be very powerful. And so we pulled every single photograph, every piece of footage we could on every storm and storm cloud, and we pointed to things and came up with a solution for how that played. And it's a marriage of CGI and real photography and things we shot. It's
yeah, because it looks real, but it also looks very otherworldly at the same time.
It needed to. It had to make you feel that something's about to happen, whether it happens or not.
Yeah.
And actually, you guys won an award in South by Southwest.
We just did. On Saturday, we won the Audience Award for our title design up against Skyfall, The Avengers, 21 Jump Street, Paranorman, Weeds. I've done commercials for Weeds, and it was really fun to be in a competition against them, you know. Same for Avengers. We were doing toy commercials for them last summer, but so I was honored we were in the competition. It was just really great to be there with other filmmakers, and I didn't think for a second that we'd win, but here we are. Very cool. We forget, the young guys forget that, you know, there's an old school way of doing things. We were on a commercial in Vancouver a couple of years ago, and we set the shot during the day, and we get back at night. In the background, there was a Mortons of Chicago neon sign in the shot, and all the post guys are like, well, we can spend, you know, 5 hours in the flame and paint this out, and it's going to be, you know, $5,500. And I was like, wait. So I put a little bit of nose grease on the lens. I'm like, okay, it's gone. They're like, wow. So I think it helps to have, you know, a background in some of the old school techniques, you know, to kind of make things work in a practical world. We had to premiere here. We had to premiere in Dallas, you know. If that's my plan, then why would I want to premiere somewhere else? So it was really great to know that James responded to the film, and I was sending him rough cuts early on, you know, and probably too rough. But he's been very warm and receptive, and this is our family and our home, and we can't wait to fill the theater and on both screenings, and hopefully we'll get some votes. And, you know, that's what's going to keep us here. It's what's going to make more films happen here. If we self-promote ourselves and we try to, you know, help Dallas out, or the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or Texas. You know, we're bordered by 2 states that are stealing all of our films. So the only way to do it, if our tax incentives aren't going to increase, is to do it you know, the way they've been doing it in Austin, just to create quality content and force people to pay attention to the city and to what we're doing here.
And when are your screenings?
They're April 11th, 7 p.m. at the Angelica, and April 12th at 7 p.m. at the Angelica. 7:15, but come early and I'll buy you some popcorn. Want you guys to, you know, enjoy the film if you haven't seen it, and to try to get some folks to come out. We'll do what we can to also help, and again, thank you so much for today. We're humbled to be here with you. I really am.
Thank you for being
No,
here.
hold on. There is one more question, and everybody knows that. We need to hear your Spanish.
My Spanish is not that great.
It doesn't matter. You can say anything. Bad word, good word. There you go. Igualmente. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Oh, y el título de la película, Persiguiendo a Shakespeare. Persiguiendo a Shakespeare. Did you hear my Shakespeare? Gracias.
Gracias. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.